Hi, Lacey.
There we go. All right, so Lacey, this is arithmetic sequence 1, 3, but this is the second part of it. Okay, so we are on the back side. So we have done arithmetic sequence, we've done the recursive and the explicit formula, and Wynn is talking and he needs to be quiet. Shh, turn around. This is all new. You're not going to know what you're doing. All right, so now on the back side, we're going to do summations. So this is stuff you haven't seen before, a summation. It's like that little E, okay? I went over an example yesterday and I said, let's say you have the sum right here in the corner. The sum from 1 to 5. That tells me where I'm starting, where I'm ending, okay? And my pattern is 3n, okay? So that means I plug 1 into 3n. 3 times 1. I plug 2 into 3n, I plug 3 into 3n, I plug 4 into 3n, I plug 5 into 3n, and all of those pieces I add them together and I get an answer. That's what a summation is. Sum, you're adding them together. So 3 times 1, 3 times 2, etc., it gets to 45, yes? Yes? Okay, so what I want you to do is compute each sum. We're going to do these down here, okay? And then I'll show you how to do it with your calculator. So on part A, the pattern or the equation is, let me make this not fuzzy. Not fuzzy, not fuzzy. Fuzzy, fuzzy. There we go. On part A, what are we starting at? On letter A right here. What's our starting number?
5.
No, 1. We are ending at 5, okay? And so what we're doing each time is we're plugging into there, okay? So we're going to start with negative, I'm going to do it off over here. Negative 7 plus 3 times 1 plus negative 7 plus 3 times 2 plus negative 7 plus 3 times 3 plus negative 7 plus 3 times 4. And where do we stop? At 5. Negative 7 plus 3 times 5, yeah? Okay, so we're going to figure out what each one of those is. We're going to add them all together, okay? Okay, so the first one. The first one, negative 7 plus 3 times 1 is, this guy is negative 4. I'm going to write him off to the side so that we can just add them, okay? 3 times 2 is 6, and then negative 7 makes negative 1. 3 times 3 is 9, minus 7 is 2. 3 times 4 is 12, minus 7. 5. 3 times 5 is 15, minus 7, which is 8. Now you'll notice that the negative 4, negative 1, 2, 5, 8, those are all going up by 3 every time because this is a recursive, or this is an explicit formula where you're going up by 3 every time, right? That's 3n minus 7. Negative 7 is where you're starting with if that was 0, and then you're going up by that many every time. Okay, so we're adding all of these together. Adding, 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 adding. Okay, I look at the negative 4 and the negative 1, and I say that's negative 5, and that's going to cancel with the positive 5, right? You see that? Do that. Do that. So what's the answer? 10. 10 is the answer. 8 plus 2 is 10. Everything else cancels out, yeah? Okay? That is the, what? I know. It's really bad. Okay? All right, so in B, same thing in B, but we're going from 1 to 4. We're going from 1 to 4. Okay, so I'm going to do it over here in this spot.
No, it's brackets, then parentheses.
Brackets, then parentheses. We got lots of junk going on, okay? So, negative 3 plus 1 minus 1 times 4. Negative 3 plus 2 minus 1 times 4. Negative 3 plus 3 minus 1 times 4. Negative 3 plus 4 minus 1 times 4, okay? What you're replacing is that n every time, okay? So that's the only number that is changing. And then we're going to add all of those together, okay? So let's figure out what each one is and then add them all together, okay? So just pause for a second while everybody writes that down. Just wait. Okay, pause for a second while they get that written down, and we'll just wait, okay? Then I'm going to show you how to do it in your calculator. You're going to love life. Okay? I love life. Okay. All right, so number 1. Or the first one up here. 1 minus 1 is 0. 0 times 4 just goes away. So this guy is negative 3. 2 minus 1 is 1. Times 4 is 4, which subtract 3 is positive 1. What are these going to go up by the way? 4 because you're multiplying by 4 every time. Okay, so 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 times 4 is 8. Minus 3, 5. 4 minus 1 is 3 times 4 is 12. 12 minus 3 is 9. 9. Okay, so now we're going to add this together. Negative 3, 1, 5, 9. 15, 12. Okay, after you subtract the 3. Yep. Okay, so 12 is the answer to that guy when all is said and done. Yes?
That's really easy.
That's really easy. Okay? All right, so now I'm going to show you how to do this on your calculator, okay? Now, even though we all have graphing calculators, some of them are the newer version. Who's got the newer version?
Me.
Here it does.
It's the same.
Cody does.
This looks pretty
Erica
good to
does.
me.
You have it. You have the computer. Okay? So, some of you, this might bring up a box to type in all this stuff. Some of you, it might look a little bit different, okay? So I'll try to go through both different types. I'm going to do the computer version first. And like Kinsey's calculator may look similar to the computer version, okay? If you guys have a newer calculator, yours might look just ever so slightly different. And I'll go through those, okay? So, here we go. I want the calculator to be able to do that, okay? But before we do that, let's learn how the calculator operates, okay? So there are a couple things that we can do. We can have it list out a sequence, okay? I can have the computer list me out a sequence, okay? And it's going to do that when I command it to do SEQ and type in all of this stuff, okay? I'll tell you how to get there on your calculator here in just a second. So what it's going to do is it's going to, like, let's say I give it, I want from 1 to 5 of 3n, and I want it just to list those numbers out, right? Just list out that sequence, okay? So what it should spit out is, if I plug 1 into 3n, the first number in that sequence should be 3, right? If I plug 2 in, the next number should be 6. If I plug 3 in, the next number should be 9, the next number should be 12, the next number should be 15, and that is what my sequence should spit out, okay? So, I know your calculator has never done this before. Usually it gives you like one answer. Your calculator will literally spit this out in probably curly Q brackets like I have. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Exactly that way, okay? Here is how you're going to get it to do that, okay? Here is how you're going to get it to do that. So, pay very close attention because you're going to get lost, okay? So you're going to go to your calculator and first and foremost, you're going to turn it on, right? On, okay?
Got it.
Now,
Oh, wait. Time out.
we have to change the
Got it.
setup of the way that this calculator operates. So what I want you to do first is go to this button over here that says mode. It's right by the blue button that says second, mode, okay? Now, this is where we're going to go frequently to change some settings in our calculator. So if you look, we are now in radians versus degrees. You remember what those are, okay? In normal mode, but the third option down, radians, degrees, okay? We're going to change that frequently throughout this class. Radians versus degrees, that third one down, okay? Most of the time you're going to need to be in degrees. If you want to go ahead and change that now, you sure can. We want to be in, whoop, I got to go down, and I got to go over and hit enter, okay? So we're going to be in degrees most of the time. If you want to go ahead and change that, that is fine.
Where's
But
the
what
enter?
I want to do is
I'm
enter
down.
down to the very bottom, okay? So what you need to do for what we're doing today is down here where it says function, you want to go over to sequence because we're working with sequences, not functions, we're working with sequences. So go over and click enter and it's going to turn the black onto sequence instead of function, yes? Okay, now, don't forget what I'm about to tell you. If you are ever to a screen where you don't want to be and you want to be back to the main screen, if you have no idea where you're at in the calculator, this is what you do. This mode button behind it says quit. You go second mode and it will quit you and take you back to the main screen. No matter what screen you're on, if you don't want to be there, go second mode and it will quit you and take you back. Now,
Quit that right now.
whatever settings that you did in mode, if you switch them over, it automatically saves those. You don't have to like switch it over and then hit save at the end. You go back and it's all there, right? If I hit my mode button again, guess what? I'm on sequences. So we're good to go, okay? So second quit. All right, so now, the next thing that I want to do, this is where the sequence thing lives, okay? we want to hit the stat button. Stat button is right under delete, okay? Stat button, that's where you're going. Stat, stat, stat. Hit the stat button. No, I'm lying to you. We want list. We want second stat. Sorry. Second stat, not stat. Second stat. So hit the shift stat. It's list. Yes, right after you change it to sequence, okay? So you want second list. So here's your list. Now, I don't want my list. I want operations. So I'm going to go over to OPS. You see it at the top? OPS. Okay?
Alright.
Do you see? SEQ.
Yep. And go down that way.
You just hit the over arrow. This is where we get lost, okay? Okay? So you went second list or second stat, right? And you are going to go over. You put the over arrow, this guy, and it goes over to ops. Okay? You could go over even further to math, but we want to go over to ops, okay? And then down here you see number 5, it says sequence, right? You can either click the number 5 on your keypad and it will go ahead and give you sequence, or you can go down to it and hit enter, okay? So either way you want to do it, it doesn't matter. We're going to pull up that sequence.
And then
yes?
it pulls up a different screen.
Okay. Okay, so we're going to do enter. Enter. Now it's going to pull up another thing.
I don't like this. Graphic calculators are dumb.
Okay, so now we have to input into it. Listen, we have to input into it what our sequence wants to be, okay? So the expression that I want to put in, I want it to do 3x or 3n in this case, okay? So type in the number 3 and your x or n or whatever variable it wants to use is right below the mode button.
Wait, do I have to?
So hit 3n.
Where's the N?
Okay? Then you're going to, does it have a parenthesis?
Time out.
If yours opened up at just a parentheses, just wait. If yours opened up just a parentheses, type in 3n after the parentheses and then do a comma. Okay, the n is right here underneath the mode button. It's like X. If you type it in, if you hit that button, it will put an N in.
Okay, I found it.
Okay? Okay?
Now what's the variable?
Alright? Good? Then next, you want to go down to variable. So it says, which one is your variable? What are you calling your variable? No, you're not done yet. You're not done yet.
Oh,
Our
yeah.
variable is n. So you want to hit that button again.
Oh yeah, buddy.
Okay? You want to hit that button again? Yes? Yes? Okay? Just wait. Just wait. I'll fix you later, Brooklyn. Just watch. Watch. You have to type in all of these things. So 3n. N is the one right below it. We are starting at 1 and we are going to 5. Yes? Starting at 1, going to 5. Okay, now, important. If you don't put something in step, it will automatically assume you're going by ones, right? This will, if you want it to, it will go by point ones, which is a lot of numbers, right? There's a lot of point ones in between 1 and 5, right? Point 1, point 2, point 3, point 4, point 5. 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, blah, 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 okay? So, we're going to go down and we're going to hit paste, and then it's going to put it on my main screen. So, Brooklyn, here's what your calculator does. I didn't put anything in step. You can put 1 if you want to, but it will automatically assume that it is 1.
3n and 1 5. Oh, perfectly
Okay?
right.
You go to paste and you hit enter.
Are you calling variable? Popcorn, chicken, and fries. You might have to stay here. The Henshaw has no money. No, because Jim's has Henshaw. No, he served me yesterday morning. Oh, never mind.
Did anyone have the parents?
I have no idea. Anything stupid. Like,
I
actually, Katie, you might be right. I don't think he served it yesterday morning. He came to school later. I think you got that served.
Okay. Yours is going to be a
Watch
for
it. No, he didn't serve it.
Brooklyn, so your screen takes you straight to here. You're going to type in 3n, comma, n, comma, 1, comma, 5, comma. There's a comma. The commas are right below, above like the 8 and 9 area.
I just got this.
Brooklyn, your comma. Your commas. There's a comma right above the 7, Brooklyn. There's a comma.
How's that water bottle?
So 3n, comma, n, comma, 1, comma, 5, bracket. Okay? Alright, so Trig class, listen, this is where it gets confusing because I put technology in front of you and your brains explode, okay? So listen. Everybody up here. You should have this in front of you on your screen. Yes, hit enter. Hit enter one more time and it's going to calculate it for you. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15.
Wait.
Awesome.
Time out.
Exactly what we wanted it to do.
Okay, I had to click it 3 times.
Yours is different. How is yours different?
Mine? Sure. Mine's slow. Hey, buddy.
You
Chill out, bud.
Alright? Did everybody get that to work? Brooklyn, did you get yours to work? What happened to yours?
Yeah, I sound like a little. You see my writers out? They have a orange right.
Alright. Trig class, listen.
Hey, whoa, guys.
Trig
All right.
class.
All right.
Listen, did everybody get this point? We're going to do another one. Yes, we're going to do another one. Here we go. Alright. Yeah, we're going to do every single thing of that again. Yes.
Just
Together.
type that stuff in.
Just wait. We're going to do every single thing of that again. It's going to get faster. Okay? So, example 8. Listen. Example 8. The first part. The first part. Ask for, use a calculator to display the first 8 terms of the sequence. This is the sequence 7 minus 3n. We just want to display them just how we just did, okay? So, go to second stat, which is going to second stat, which is going to list. Come to here. It's my list area. Go over to ops. That's operations. Okay. Go down to sequence. Enter. It's going to take you to this page, or it takes you to whatever Brooklyn's screen is. Okay. So my expression. I don't want 3n now. I want 7 minus 3n. So type that into the expression. 7 minus 3n. My variable is still n, right? Still n. But now, listen. Now I want to go from 1 to 8. Now I want to go from 1 to 8 instead, right? So I changed that 5 to an 8. If you want to put a 1 in the step, that's fine. If you leave it blank, it automatically assumes that it is 1.
Right.
So go down to paste, hit enter. It's pasting it in there. And then you hit enter again and it will list them. Now that sequence is 8 terms long, which is longer than normal, so you'll have to go up to it to actually read it, right? If you want to go over, you'll have to, maybe.
So then do we just write that down right here? Do we just write this down?
How do I get over?
It takes a while to do it.
It says it's 4, 1, 8, 2, 4.
Okay. So I'm going to list them over here.
How we know that though?
4, 1, -2, -5, -8. How do I get mine to go over?
It takes a second. You gotta go up.
Oh god.
Enter. It's not letting me go over.
Start going up and down.
Nope.
Wait.
Wrong.
You can't go down.
What?
Go down. Now press over.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, mine must be good.
No, it don't work. Okay.
Why doesn't it let me go over?
Go back up to your sequence.
What?
Hit enter.
Click enter. Click. No. Click enter again. Yeah. Now press over.
Ah, there we go. Ah, nice job. Okay, so -8. Yeah, I just made it mad. -11, -14, -17. That is my 8 terms of my sequence. It's done it for me, yes? I didn't have to do any math and write it out, yes? Thank God.
Oh, this is on the ACT now.
Now, you can do it by doing it manually, but this is the easier way. Okay? This is the easier way. All right. Now, the second thing. Listen. Listen, listen, listen. We want to, in the second part, we want it to actually add these numbers together. We want it to add those numbers together. Listen, I want it to sum that sequence, but I want it to do from 1 to 50 now instead. From 1 to 50, okay? From 1 to 50. So here's what you do when you're doing a summation. From 1 to 50, this is easy. Easy, easy. Not all the steps, okay? So I don't want to list it out. Listen, I don't want to list it out. I want it to actually sum it for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to the math button. Math button is right below alpha. Math button, math button. And you are going to go down to number 0, which says summation. Yeah? Do you see summation down there? Number 0?
Number 10.
It's number 10, maybe? 0? Hit enter. Okay? Do you see this? Okay? Go to the math button.
Oh, that is great.
Go to the math button.
You put the N and then you put the 1.
Okay, you go down to summation.
And then you go
Okay.
up and press 50, right? And then you go over. What's the price? 7 minus 3 $3,475. Where's the delete?
Imagine just typing in these sequences.
Hey, how do you know that?
Okay? Did anybody not get to this? Summation. 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 Enter.
Error. Math.
Enter. Whoa, clear.
Got it. Hey, boys.
Math. Math. Summation.
Hey, I think I got it.
Okay.
Can you look at this?
So you type it in exactly the way that it is there. Hold on, I'm coming back to you, Morgan. N, starting from 1 to 50. Starting from 1 to 50. 7 minus 3n. Enter. Negative 3475.
Yes.
From 1 to 50. Did you do 50 instead of 7 minus
So
3n?
this would be the 50th term.
No, that's not all added up 1 to 50. All the numbers added up 1 to 50.
That's what that is.
Yeah.
Oh, because
No.
okay. All right.
I typed
Did you
it
guys
in.
did everybody get that summation to work?
Yes.
That is so awesome. Super fast. Who wants to? Who wants to add or plug in 1 and add it to what you get when you plug in 2 and add it to what you get when you plug in 3 all the way to 50?
Not me.
No, not me. It does it for you. That's really nice. Okay? All right, so here we go.
There's nothing different. I thought it was funny here.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba.
So I could have.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to do.
It's this answer.
Go down to, listen. Go down to number 9. You're going to have a question like this, and it's called a partial sum. Listen. Partial sum. It asks you in your homework for a partial sum. Last thing. So it gives us the sequence. -8, -3, 2, and 7. What is the pattern?
Plus 5.
Plus 5.
Plus 5, okay? And the pattern is plus 5. So we need to write out an explicit formula. Write out an explicit formula. I know. Our explicit formula is 5x plus, well, really, plus -8, right? Or -8, because that's my first term. That's my explicit formula, okay? It wants us to find the 12th partial sum. That's saying find the first 12 numbers. Find the first 12 numbers, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay? Now, isn't that just 1 through 12? Because we made the formula, listen, because, yeah, you're right. Because we made the formula and our first term is embedded as term 0, we're not going to go from 1 to 12, we're going to go from 0 to 11. So when we make the formula, we embed it this way, we're going to go from 0 to 11.
That's not what I meant. Come
I know what you meant. From 0 to 11. So we want to add up the terms from 0 to 11 using that sequence. So go to your math. Math, summation.
Can I clear this?
You can clear it, yes, yes. Summation. N is starting with 0 and going to 11.
Wait, it comes in at 5N, is that fine?
Yes, that's fine. 5N minus 8.
Mine says error.
23. Okay, if yours says error, listen. If yours says error, it does not like it when you use the minus symbol or the negative symbol instead of the minus symbol. Don't use this guy. Don't use this guy. Use minus. Don't use this guy. Okay? Do it again.
I used the minus symbol.
I didn't know that.
I used the minus symbol.
You want to use the minus symbol. You don't want to use the negative symbol.
I know, I didn't. I used minus symbol on the last one and it said it was error. And she did the same thing. And she did the same thing and it was right.
Okay? Did you get 234?
Yes.
Yes! Woo! Okay. Okay, listen. Now, this one. Find the sum of all multiples of 3 from 3 to 333.
So you're going by 3.
Okay, listen. So you're going by 3s. That's the pattern. So Erica just said, guys, you gotta listen. You gotta listen. We're going by 3s. So the pattern is 3n. I'm trying to add up all the numbers. Our pattern is 3n. We're doing multiples of 3n, okay? So where am I starting from if my first term needs to be 3?
0, no. We're
Starting from 1 and plugging in a 1 and out pops a 3. What's my last number? 111, right? Because if 333 needs to be my last number, I should be able to plug 111 into here and out pops 333, yes? So this is what it looks like. The sum from n equals 1 to 111, because my first term will be 3 and my last term will be 333, yes? And it will be multiples of 3. So go to your summation, math. Sum going from n equals 1 to 1, 1, 1. It's going to be a big number. 3n.
Good job, Brooklyn.
18, 648. Okay, because my first number needs to be 3 and my last number needs to be 333. So if we're using 3n as our pattern, I plug 111 in for n, out pops my last term, 333. Right? Does that make sense? Because we're using the formula 3n.
You made me think I got it wrong when I got it right.
All right?
Y equals 1x plus 3.
What?
Why not the equation of y equals 1x plus 3?
Because x plus 3 would be recursive. We want an explicit formula. Okay? Okay? All right, we'll stop there. We'll stop there. We won't do the last one. The last one is the same. Okay? Your homework is listed on the board. Colton's not listening. A lot of people are listening. Your homework is listed on the board. Do your homework. Do your homework. I did it.
Yeah, what's example 11? Are we going to need that?
I don't know.
Hey, yeah,
The starting salary for a job is $20,000. You want to do it?
No.
Okay. All right. We're stopped.